Hello, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Today I met up with Dan. Dan has a really cool raised roof school bus he's gonna give us a tour of. There's some things in here that I've never seen before. I'm excited to show you guys. Hello, Dan, and welcome to New Jersey Outdoor Adventures.
Thanks, Pat. Thanks for having me. Like you said, my name's Dan, and this is my 1999 International Thomas schooling. Overall, it took me about 14 months to build from start to finish. Bought it last March and finished most of the stuff, 99 or 95% done this May. So I just kind of want to walk through a lot of the exterior stuff and then we'll head on inside. So first thing you can notice is that it's a lot higher. So the roof was raised 16 inches and we bought some hat channel from schoolie.com. That made the process very easy and made everything kind of straightforward and fall into line just the way we wanted it to. With some extra planning, we went ahead and made sure we wanted to get an exterior paint that we wanted, and we settled with this blue. It's like a blue-gray depending on the light, but we think that overall it's a very nice feature and it stands out amongst a lot of different schoolies that are already on the road. We have right here is just a storage box that is not built yet. We planned out to put a lot of stuff for the engine inside, such as just extra oil or extra fluids, maybe an extra alternator in case anything happens down the road. What I did also do is I extended the bus panels on the side of the bus to make it so it flows the exact length or the whole length of the bus to make everything more uniform and make sure it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye. One of the main features that you can also notice is that the door is now moved. We don't have a school bus door up in the front, and the reason behind that I'll show you when we get inside, but since we're outside I can show you that the door was moved here. It's a metal exterior door. And after a little trial and error, we got the door to fit in very nice and easy, and it does have a clamp right here that can attach it to the bus so it doesn't move with some of the wind. As we move along, there is some extra storage underneath here that we can add a box to it, maybe a grill. We have the exhaust that was moved out here, and that made it easier so that when we have the propane tanks behind this door right here, and then the axles themselves in the back, when we were on the highway, we were only averaging about 60 miles an hour, maybe a little less. I felt that was unsafe, so I did some research online, and I re-geared the back gear inside of the diff, and we're averaging about 65 to 70 miles an hour. It's a little bit better on the highway, and we can maintain those speeds with the other cars. We have our tankless hot water heater right here. This definitely helps, and it's very fast when it heats up the hot water, and it's very reliable. We have one of the RV windows in the back here, and right behind that is the bed. It is also a safe window so that if in case anything happens inside the bus, an emergency, you can get right outside of that window. On the roof, we have just under 1,400 watts of solar. There are 6 solar panels up there, and that charges our 600 amp hours of battery inside the bus, and we also have 2 max air fans on the top as well. If we come around the back of the bus, you notice up top we have 2 cameras. One camera is for a driving camera when you're looking behind you, and then the camera below it is the camera when you're backing up, and it shows you a clear view of the bumper to make sure you're not hitting anything. The lights, we all upgraded all of the lights in the back to LED lights, so it makes it a lot more visible for people to see you. And then on the bumper, we have 4 black sensors, and those are just reverse sensors. So they'll help when we are reversing, and there is a little signal inside that lets us know if we're close to anything. I do have a master lock in the back here, just to secure the door to make sure that no one's getting inside there, and that's just kind of the trunk area of the bus. As we move to the other side of the bus, we have another emergency exit window on the other side of the living space back there. Right below it, we have the city hookup, and then right here, behind this door is the fill for the water tank. Right below that, we have the unit for the mini split, as well as the gray water tank on the left-hand side, the spillway for that. I'm gonna put a grate on this, but you can see the whole system that I made from this mini split. It's a little bit unique and a little bit different than a regular mini split inside. So once we get inside, I can explain that whole process and how I put that inside of the bus. As we move down, we have the black water tank right behind this door, and then right above it I made a compartment that can house the hose as well as a regular garden hose that can go inside here, so it's kind of all in the same area when I'm taking it out of the bus. Right above it is just a regular outdoor shower that comes out and people can use that. Right past there on the bottom of the bus we have a generator. It's a 4 kilowatt generator, and if there's any issues with the sun, with the solar, or batteries can't charge, it's definitely good to have a backup generator. As we move along, we have a 30 amp plug for the shore power to also plug into the system as well. And right below that is just the main battery box for the batteries for the bus itself. If you look up, you can see the roof is painted white, and that's an elastomeric paint that definitely helps with keeping the heat down when the sun is beating down on the roof up there. The tank capacities in the bus, I have two 65-gallon freshwater tanks in the back of the bus underneath the bed. I do have one 35-gallon gray water tank and a 55-gallon black water tank. In the front of the bus, you can see we deleted the emergency lights on the top. We added some extra just running lights on the top, and then we did add a light bar right above the front windshield, which definitely helps with seeing stuff on just some side roads and stuff at night that you're not really sure of what's ahead of you. I know you guys are excited to see the inside of the bus, so let's go check that out. But before we go inside, I wanted to show you that not only did I move the door, but I moved the entire stairs that were up in the front of the bus, and I put them back here just so it was a lot easier to make your way in the front, the back of the bus, and it helped with the entire flow of the interior design. So the stairs are the same material as the floor inside the bus, and I used the same plywood and the same stain to flow inside of the bus. Welcome to my space. So here is the interior of the bus, and we can start with the front of the bus. The main thing that you noticed as we move the stairs, we do have an open area up here, and what we did is we added a second captain's chair so that we can have a passenger when you're driving. Both of these chairs swivel out, and it just makes it easier when you're talking to people or just moving around, and then once you get going, you can swivel the bus chair all the way around. The whole interior of the dash, most of the dash up front is kind of the same. We did remove the door opener or the lever for that. We added an iPad holder. I added a few cup holders and a box around the engine mount so that it kept it a little bit quieter inside of the bus. On the left-hand side of the drivers, we did kind of custom make a piece that molds into there that has the backup camera on it, and we kind of eliminated a lot of the switch that were up here, so it made it a little bit less complicated when you were looking at it. Above me, as I make my way back here, is a loft area, and that was another one of the advantages that we had when we eliminated the stairs and the door in this area, is that we could put another sleeping arrangement up front, and that way we had room for more people to stay in here if more people wanted to travel. This is just shy of a full bed, a few inches that I needed cut off, but it can easily sleep 2 people up top. There are some lights, and then on both sides we do have 12 volt and 110 volt outlets, and we also have some fans if you're up there and don't want the AC on, that you can have some air blowing on your face. Another thing that I wanted to mention, like I pointed out before, is I did a little bit of a different mini split unit, and there's a duct right here, and that incorporates a whole duct system in the roof, but I'll explain a little bit more of that as we move along. As we go on the side here, the passenger side, we do have a table that will fold up and click into place, and we can get some extra chairs and have some people, and this is a good seating area and eating area. Right behind it is actually a TV that comes up. And as this TV moves up, it makes it a lot easier for people that are sitting at the couch to watch the TV. If you're sitting here and at a laptop, there are also outlets on both sides of this TV housing, which makes it a little bit more convenient when you're doing some work on here. The countertop on this table is just an epoxy pour. I made sure that I kind of did some sample pieces before I actually did the actual pour, and I made some unique designs to kind of make it a little bit different than anything else that I've seen before. The cabinets on the side of the bus, you can see they're on both sides of the bus as you make your way back, and they're just storage cabinets. And they have lights inside, which makes it a little bit easier for seeing when you're inside. And I did have a friend of mine help me 3D print some little units here so that when you close the door, the light turns off. Most of the walls inside of the bus are plywood, but there are some walls that are just some MDF with some wallpaper on them, and it's a texture wallpaper that kind of flows with the design and the colors inside of the bus. As you work your way over to the other side of the bus, this is a futon that I found on Facebook Marketplace, and luckily it fit kind of just right in the space, and the way that it looks and works kind of flows with the entire bus. It's another seating area as well as another bed. And to pull it out, you just lift up, push it back, and you have a bed. And then right below this is the entire electrical system inside of the bus. So above the solar, like I said, it feeds into the battery bank, and here we have 3 200 amp hour lithium batteries, as well as a smart charger, as well as a Victron Lynx distributor, and a Victron Multi-Plus unit. That ties in with the 12 volt and the 110 volt system. You can see with the breakers and the 12 volt fuses. And to put it back up, click it into place and fold it back in. Behind that, on both sides, we have some blackout shades, which definitely helps it keep cool in here, and then at night, or when you're waking up in the morning, it doesn't let any light in when you don't need the light itself. We have our first cabinet right here. All the cabinets in here are handmade with 3/4 inch plywood, and then they are stained. And here, which a lot of people forget, is we do have the recycling, and then we do have the garbage on this side right here, and that folds right back in. On the side of it, you can see we have an HDMI cable, and that hooks directly up to the TV, so that if you're watching anything and want to plug anything in, it's very convenient and easy to just plug it right next to the couch. Right above me is one of the two first Max Air fans, and you can see it has some extensions in it, and again, that is because of the entire ducted system inside of the roof of the bus, and it makes it a little bit easier to run all that ductwork. As you look down, you can see there's a few more ducts that come out of the ceiling, and this is where all the air flows through the entire roof of the bus. It comes from the back of the bus and makes its way up to different sections of the bus to make sure that the entire bus is cool or heated in a uniform way. As we work our way back, we have our refrigerator. It's just an apartment style refrigerator. And then above it, we have all of our gauges, or all of our units, to tell us our temperature that we're in the bus, to tell us the tanks, the hot water heater, and then all of our electrical components. And to be safe, I do have a carbon monoxide alarm as well. As we work to the other side of the bus, we have the same style cabinets right here. Right below it, we have our paper towel holder, and then we have our sink here with our pump, exterior lights, and interior light switches. Below it, we have two false drawers, just because the sink's right there. And then we have just drawers underneath it that are soft closed drawers as you move down the bus. A few of them are a little bit smaller, but they're mainly just for their own priorities, like housing utensils and other stuff that you want to store up in the kitchen area of the bus. This is one of the units that I got out of an RV from my neighbor. I'm just cleaning and painting the grills on top, so that's why they're not on top. I don't grill like this, or I don't cook like this. As well as the two front RV windows and the front chairs I got from the same RV. And it definitely helps to network and talk to people. A lot of people want to make a budget-friendly bus, and one of the easiest ways that I found is Facebook Marketplace and just talking to friends. You never know when someone has something that they could just offer you or give away that they don't really need anymore. And usually with RVs, if something small happens to it, there's a lot of parts inside of that RV that someone can take and incorporate inside of their schoolie build. As we work our way down, here's a little oven inside of here. We have another drawer down here. And then in the back of the bus, like I talked about the sensors, this is the alarm right here. So when it gets close to something, it just senses everything. And then to incorporate the rest of the kitchen, here are just some pantry drawers. And we got some pasta to start ourselves off with some food. We have one up here, and then we have one down here. Right next to me here is the first half of the bathroom. It has the toilet and it has the sink in there, as well as a little frosted window on the side to let light in, but make sure that no one can see what you're doing inside of the bathroom. This is also vanity with some storage behind it, and luckily the magnet on there is very strong. That doesn't open up. And then we have the little tiny sink in here as well. And then underneath we have a cabinet, and behind there is some extra storage and some valves for the water system itself. Right past there is kind of an open area that I want people to see kind of the way the roof is designed or the ceiling is designed, as well as the insulation that I put in the bus. This can be a unit for storage or anything else, but I have it for my bus that it's plumbed out and I want to put a washer and dryer unit in it, as well as some extra storage in the near future. So if you look up right inside of this little storage area here, you can see that there's some insulation, and that is kind of the box that all the ductwork runs through inside of the bus, making sure that it's insulated from all of the outside elements and air. Behind the washer dryer prep area, I have a stand-up shower, and I have 3 child locks on it so that when I'm driving down the road, this door doesn't swing open. And it is also another Facebook Marketplace find. This was very helpful when I'm putting the bus together. As you can see, it's a very large shower. It is 36 inches by 36 inches, and it definitely does the job. You feel a little more spacious in here, and you don't feel like you're crammed at all. The actual shower itself is just a vinyl flooring, and it definitely helped with save some money, save some weight, and just save overall time while putting this shower together. The floor is tile, and it's smaller tile, so I made sure I put the smaller tile so it wouldn't crack. And I do have the flexible grout as well that we used up in the front of the bus. The back of the bus, this is the kind of main sleeping area. This is a full-size bed. And on both sides, you can see we have some shelves. We also have the windows. These are the emergency exit windows, like I mentioned, from the outside of the bus. And there are blackout shades back here. On both sides of the headrest, there are also 2 fans in case you get a little bit hot. I do have to finish some stuff in the back. As you can see, some of the cabinet doors are not on there. That's one of the last things, like I mentioned, 99 or 95% done with the bus. These shades, just like the front, go up and down pretty easy and let a lot of light in when you want light back here. You can see that the wallpaper flows back here, and it makes it a little bit more homey and more comfortable when you're in the back of the bus, just lounging or sitting back here. Behind here is the actual mini split unit, and it's a ducted mini split unit. That's why you don't see anything. So here is the air intake, and then on the ceiling of the entire bus is where a whole bunch of ductwork runs through and creates a comfortable living space that is cool up in the front as well as cool back here. And I've never seen anything like a ducted mini split inside of a bus, so it did take a lot of help from people online as well as friends and family to come up with the whole system and put it in the ceiling before I kind of finished anything up or made sure that it was going to be a working unit or not working in it. And overall, after all the calculations, we were able to put the first that I've seen ducted mini split inside of a school bus. Back here we also do have 110 volt outlets at the base of the bed, and there's also one at the head of the bed as well. As you make your way back here, the same kind of area as the bedroom, there is area for hanging up your shirts on a rod back there, and then if you want pants or anything else, you can put it in the drawers back here. There's some towels in this one for taking a shower, and these are all soft clothes. So there's a lot of storage inside of this bus, and talking about storage, we have one more area that we have some storage. Right in here is a finished storage area, and this is also very nice because this door was measured perfectly so that if you are back in this area and changing and taking a shower, it's a door that cuts off that area. So I hope you guys like the tour of my school bus. There are things in here that are a little bit more unique and different than other schoolies. I hope to eventually use this, maybe not full time, but use it with friends and family, and then maybe rent it out in a closed space where people can experience living in a school bus by themselves without actually owning one. And hopefully that creates new adventures for those people, and maybe in the future they want to start a schoolie for themselves. So I hope you guys enjoyed the bus and everything that you've seen in here. I know there's a lot of different things and we touched on a lot of different aspects of the bus, but hopefully maybe you can incorporate some of these things in a build that you're building.
That was an awesome tour. I know off camera you spoke a little bit about buying some property too and thinking about building tiny homes. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so that might be the next step as well as renting this out, is that if I buy land and build some tiny homes to rent out as well, I can live in this while I'm working at that property and experience this true bus life for myself as a full living.
And I'm very impressed with the ducted air conditioning system. Being in the RV business for over 20 years, really only RVs have ducted air. When people build cargo trailers and build school buses and vans, it's typically a central air conditioning unit, which is great. It dumps a lot of cool air into one spot. But when you're talking about a bus, what's the length of this bus?
37 feet.
37 feet long. If you had 2 air conditioners, one here and one there, you know, it would be probably really hot in that front area, really hot in the back. The bathroom and the shower wouldn't get any air conditioning, so having the ductwork is incredible. And I looked at the work and the quality and the craftsmanship. That is unbelievable what you've done up there.
Thank you.
It does lower the height of the ceiling
Right.
in here, but how much height do you have? This has to be at least 6'5".
So it's 6'4" actually.
Okay.
Yeah, the inside with raising it 16 inches and then making that ductwork area up there, it's still a very comfortable height inside of the bus with the central air.
Because you needed probably between materials, insulation, and ductwork, 8 inches just dedicated to that space.
There's 8 inches up there. Yeah.
So now you have a full ceiling, so if you ever want to add any additional equipment, you have a full chase front to back.
Yeah, any extra wires or anything, it's just a full line straight from the front to the back of the bus. It makes things a little bit easier.
And I appreciate the opportunity today to tour your school bus. This is now the first raised roof school bus that I've done for this channel. I've done a lot of school buses before.
Oh, wow.
But I don't recall doing a raised roof one. Someone's going to prove me wrong. Maybe I did one and I forgot about it. But I'll make sure I leave your contact information in the description. Well, this is Patrick with New Jersey's Outdoor Adventures YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us.
See ya.